The Beast is back. Bru. Huge news
Yep.
this evening. Bru McCoy announced he is returning. If I had to have put money on it, that was going to be where I would guess would happen. But that is huge. That is absolutely huge. What is your immediate thoughts about Bru returning?
So two things. Number one, we were the front runner for Evan Stewart, which I would absolutely love to have Evan Stewart. But how incredibly deep is your receiver core when you're able to tell Evan Stewart, hey, sorry, we don't have a spot for you?
Yeah.
That's a really good problem to have. And,
Yep.
Number two, Chris Brazzell has to be the most excited individual on the earth tonight because
Yep.
he gets to play on the opposite side of the field of Bru. He had over 700 yards receiving this year at Tulane with really nobody else around him that was overly scary. So he was getting a ton of targets and getting open with really no help. So to know that Bru's going to be on the opposite side of the field, he's going to get so many one-on-one matchups, and he's going to have a huge year.
Mm-hmm. This is tremendous. I mean, is it fair to say that Tennessee's win-loss probability just went up by a game?
I guarantee you Vegas is scrambling some numbers right now.
Yeah. I mean, that is a tremendous, because this year the thing that Tennessee really lacked was a go-to third down receiver. That, if you throw it anywhere in the same zip code as that dude, he's going to catch it. And that's Bru, and he's back. And that is a huge deal. Absolutely huge deal.
And not only him, Chris Brazzell is that guy too. Like, we now have one on each side of the field that are of that make. And they can, again, I hope they do it. Take the tight end off the field, go 4 wide, put Dante Thornton in one slot, Squirrel White in the other, and have Bru and Brazzell on the edges. Holy cow. The opportunities and the options are unlimited.
If they do that, you're looking at 6'4", 6'5", 5'10", 6'5".
And the 6'5" and 5'10" both run sub 4.4s.
Yeah. That doesn't stink, I mean, that's pretty good. and then you still have a 5-star and 4 4-stars on the sideline waiting to come in the game. I mean, like, good grief.
Yeah. Several of which played really well against Iowa. And, everybody's already raving about Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley.
HT14 said, who's going to be the number one wide receiver in your opinion?
Oh, we have an alpha dog. He was the alpha dog this year. He will be the alpha dog next year. He ran that locker room, and when we lost him this year, it hurt everybody.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that. Like I said, I mean, the thing is, when Bru was healthy and it was third down, everybody knew where the ball was going, and it didn't matter. It still got to him, and he still caught it. I mean, there's a lot of value in that. I mean, here we are. It's third down. We got Bru lined up over there. All right, so we're going to throw it to him, and y'all are just going to deal with it. I mean, like that's essentially what happened multiple times. I mean, you think about the last drive of the Bama game. I mean, my goodness, he goes up, gets a catch, gets down. We call a timeout, kick a field goal, win the game. The opening drive of the South Carolina game, and I hate to bring that game up because that's the game he got hurt in, but the opening drive of that game, we had 2 plays right out the gate, and neither one of them did anything. So it was like 3rd and 8. Boom, we hit Bru, first down, where the drive keeps going. I mean, that would have been a 3 and out to start the game, and instead, Bru, and we got a first down. So
every team needs a Jawan Jennings. Every team needs a guy that has no issue getting in everybody else's face when it's needed and make it very known what's about to happen. And we had that guy up until Bru went down, and people just have no idea the value of what he brought to that locker room. Like, he is, and Keenan Peely. Like, Peely's very, very similar in personality. Like, neither of them have any issue getting in somebody's face and saying, you're going to do this, and this is how it's going to happen. and we needed that because we didn't have anybody else on offense who was like that. Even if you look at the offensive line, there's nobody with that personality. To some extent, Javonte Spraggins, but for whatever reason, he didn't really use it very often. Bru had no issue just telling people what's what. And that was how Juwan Jennings was. And you need a guy like that. It's vital. And when he went down, nobody stepped up and replaced it. And I mean, you could see it. Our offense became so much more passive when Bru went down. And I think what we're going to see is a much more aggressive, honestly, a little bit of a butthole group that doesn't mind to tell you all about it after they beat you. And, we need that. If we're going to be an aggressive, up-tempo, high-scoring team, we need a few butt kickers that are willing to tell you about it after they torch you. And that's what Bru brings to the table, and they feed off him. And he is 100% the alpha in that room.